Do you get comedians coming up to you and saying, I'm in this business because of you?
Once in a while, a few people, but not like with Jonathan or whatever. But it was, yeah, it's kind of sweet when that happens.
My name is George. I'm a comedian, an actor, the director of this documentary, and I am here today because of Robin Williams.
It is a great honor for me to be here.
They say, would you like to walk the straight line? And you go, walk it. I can dance it.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. Oh, my God.
It's like being taken from the bottom of Death Valley to the top of the Empire State Building in 2 seconds. It's totally disorienting. To be from, just performing in the Comedy Store, small clubs, and all of a sudden have everybody know you.
In 1975, when I moved to New York City to study acting, I also studied mime, and I took it on the street, and I became a street performer. And I used to perform in front of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I'm doing my show, finish my show, and I sit down. What I would do after a show is always sit, have a little water, and retouch my white face. And while I'm doing that, I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn and I look. It's Robin Williams. He said, would you mind, I'm with a photographer today from New York Magazine. Do you mind if I come in and improv with you? I didn't hesitate. I said, no, of course. I would love to. Let's do it. 15 minutes later, I go and start to work up a new crowd. And then I look, and where the crowd had built up around the sides, coming through the crowd, there's Robin. He entered the playing area, and we started street performing together. And it was absolutely magic.
For me, I love to take the chances and improvise. That's when that's the greatest high in the world, when you're trying new stuff.
Yeah.
Or getting suggestions and playing and doing new things. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite. That's the unknown, the special land.
I can't remember if it was a week or two later. No photographer involved. It's just Robin Williams. I'm street performing, and through the crowd, there's Robin. Pokes his head in and goes, come on. So he came back to the museum and performed with me, which is so touching. Just because he wanted that enjoyment, that high of performing.
When I think of Robin Williams comedy, a word that comes to mind at the forefront is freedom.
When you go through the metal detector, there are some pierced people there. Take out your keys, oh, tip of the iceberg.
Something that is a rare trait when it comes to comedians is that you get the sense watching Robin Williams perform that if he made a joke at somebody's expense, it wasn't mean-spirited.
I came to Bombay last year. I would like to welcome you to Iran. Help me!
I guess it's that fear of you'll recognize that they're, as well, how insecure are we really?
Yeah.
How desperately insecure that made us do this for a living.
Then you go like this, to make you touch your nose twice. You go like, start off 1, 2, and then here's the new part. I want you to know this. The new part is to be like 1, 2,
I can't imagine a time, I've never seen it, when he faltered on stage. And inside, you sometimes have that insecurity, but you gotta push through that and just be all out. And you knew if you did that, you in some ways would be safe on stage because you committed to the suggestion and you fulfilled it.
This is so bad. The color is oppressive. Even, put a dash of something different there.
his accents, first and foremost, was something that I kind of gravitated towards, because growing up in, an immigrant household, I was really keen on picking up those different sounds, and I had a great ear for imitating, aka making fun of my parents' accents.
Why can't we just have one normal game? Georgie?
I looked to Robin Williams for most of that, because he was such an instrumental part of me finding out that it was something you could do.
Yesterday, Mother got very upset because I put the hamster in the microwave. That goes the weasel.
Your personal life feeds the work. Because a lot of times in movies, I had this kind of barrier, this kind of thing, especially with comedies or whatever, where you had to kind of put up the shield. Then all of a sudden you're freed because you're not afraid. And you can do other things and get a little deeper. And do something like Dead Poets, which is, very simple and very, not a performance as much as it is a statement of philosophy.
We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion.
I love Dead Poets Society not only because it showed his range as an actor, but it shows how, there are people that water people's dreams to see them grow. There's a world that wants to shut them down.
We're not going to let you ruin your life. Tomorrow I'm withdrawing you from Welton and enrolling you in Brayton Military School. You're going to Harvard, and you're going to be a doctor. Is it more of this acting business? Because you can forget that.
And there's this whole world that tells you can't be creative, you can't be yourself. And that's why that kid takes his life in Dead Poets Society, which is ironic.
And it's a thing of seeing people do interesting work and just keep trying to push the parameters so you don't get confined.
I think Robin's range inspired me at some point in my career not to shy away from comedy, but also to embrace the drama. All the real moments that happen in life and to work off of that.
Boy, you want to fight? Huh?
We are humans, we do have different layers, and I think that was really empowering for me to really make that move of hey, I love comedy, but I don't just have to do comedy.
And I think that's always what I want to do, is to try different things and kind of always change perceptions.
And change the rhythm. You could...
Yeah, break up. It is a rhythm. It's basically saying, okay, now we hit it, there, and then, hit a little harder, and then back off, and then go berserk, with the stand-up, which is just free form, and then come back and play something so controlled, like a 1 hour photo. Those are all possible.
This is a performer who just absolutely gave 100% in every genre, every medium, and really, what could be more inspiring as a performer than somebody who just does it all with absolute ease?
That's what I'd like to try and do in the next couple of years, is to try and balance that out some more, because I've been working too hard. I've been pumping at it, and you gotta shut that off for a while. And then, because it only helps sometimes to take a break. You think that if you don't keep doing it, they're gonna forget.
One of the memories that I remember actually going on a trip to Croatia with my girlfriend, and it was a biking trip. One of our guides said he had Robin Williams on his trip. He took that bike trip, despite that it was 16 people or 18 people, he rode bike by himself because he wanted time to recharge. He wanted time to be by himself. Everybody needs time to recharge. You don't realize it, but you have to. You need it in order to get better, in order to improve yourself.
He could be so on and just such a performer, but he could also be very, very introverted and quiet and sincere, very, looking at you, speaking very soft-spoken.
It used to be a lot worse. They had this giant hammer. Oh, they brought it back.
As a young Mrs. Doubtfire fan, I was very, very excited for the opportunity to actually meet Robin at the premiere of the film Robots. And I had with me a drawing I had done of the Blue Man Group who did the music for the film. And Robin came over, he saw this drawing, and he said, oh, the Blue Man Group is here. You should have them sign your picture. And I was like, oh, you're right. And he complimented the drawing, and I asked him if he could also sign it. And my mom took a photo of his interaction with me. You don't see me in the frame, but he's talking to me in the photo. And the more I look back on this interaction, it was not only deeply meaningful that he took the time to talk to me, but that it was an interpersonal interaction. It wasn't something that was with a lot of fanfare or hoopla. It was just person to person. He was speaking with me, even though I was a kid, as though I was another person that he respected.
He showed two distinct sides that made up that whole of Robin Williams. And he brought them together on stage, and he also separated them off stage.
Silence and bid a fond farewell to George W. Bush.
What's the most common misconception about you?
That I'm manic. That I'm just like manic and crazed, and always to the point where a woman came up to me once in an airport and said, be zany. Or people say, are you on now? I went, no, I'm here right now.
When people tell me like, oh, you're a comedian, make me laugh. Oh, you're a comedian, you're not telling jokes. I don't think you're funny. I think that can be very disheartening for a lot of people and for myself. And that's something that it's very close to my heart because it's something I have struggled with ever since I started comedy, is the expectations that people put on comedians of, you're a comedian, tell me a joke.
It's true. You said about sometimes being on, that people want you to be a certain way, and sometimes you can't help but be depressed.
When I was drinking, there was only one time, even for a moment, where I thought, oh, fuck life. And then I went like, then even my conscious brain went, did you honestly just say fuck life? I went, you have a pretty good life as it is right now. Okay, let's put the suicide over here on discussable. Let's leave that over here in the discussion area. We'll talk about that.
I had just stopped drinking and I was having a really hard time. My life was imploding. And so I had a friend who knew somebody, and Robin Williams used to come in and out of her apartment building quite a bit. I was finally introduced to him from my friend, like, hey, this is Robin, and he seemed kind of a sweet guy, and so we started talking, he's like, so what do you do? I said, I don't want to be a weirdo, but I do comedy, and he's like, oh, that's great. And so I just stopped drinking and stuff, and I said, I'm having a real hard time. And I just ended up telling him, and I said, I don't feel like I'm as funny without alcohol. And so he's like, listen, I promise you, if you don't drink, you'll be a lot funnier. And the weird thing is, I was like having a hell of a morning where I thought I wanted to dive out a window. I was having one of those days where I was like, okay, I'm just going to get my affairs in order and I'm going to kill myself. So I just remember meeting him that night and I really started to feel better. So I go back to the clubs and sure enough, he was right. I did get funnier. I went from being unfunny to mediocre, so he was absolutely correct.
You're back and you realize the thing that matters are others. Way beyond yourself. Self goes away. Ego, bye-bye. Realize there are a lot of amazing people out there to be grateful for. And a loving God. And that, other than that, good luck.
We have just received word from the West Coast, tragic, devastating word.
The breaking news just into CNN is that actor Robin Williams is dead at the age of 63 from an apparent suicide.
All that really just shot through my head immediately was, that's just too young for a human being of such force and energy to be gone.
It hit me that I wasn't going to be able to meet him anymore. I wasn't going to be able to work with him anymore. And I wouldn't be able to tell him how much he meant to me.
You never know what someone is going through. You never really know. So be kind. Tell someone how much you enjoy their work. Tell someone how much you enjoy them as a person. Tell them how important they are in your life.
I always wanted to just give him a hug and tell him thank you for helping me eventually, and I just didn't get that chance.
It's traumatizing to feel that light was taken away from us, and that's more selfish. But it's true, because he just lit up a room.
And it really opened up my eyes to really understanding how much of an impact someone can have on another person, other people, how much of an impact their work can have for other people.
It was a horrible day that became a wonderful celebration of this man and his life. As soon as we started really grappling with the reality of what happened, that's where we found the love.
That you have that thing of going, at what point do you understand who you are and what do you do? And then you become more kind of a little more at ease with what you are and who you are, and go, this is what it is. Don't like it? Hey.
Come on in, let me take you on a tour of the whole plant.
Robin Williams was the most unique he could possibly be. And that's what I think inspires his legacy, inspires all of us to do that. We're all different. Don't try to copy someone else. Don't try to be someone else. Be your best, full out you.
Genuflect, show some respect, down on one knee. Now try your best to stay calm.
I fully admit that I have no problem with the fact that I will never be Robin Williams. But to have an inch of the admiration for his character shine through what I do, and to have that collective moment of sharing that with an audience is so special.
His legacy is just this huge ball of positivity and laughter.
All you have of Robin Williams is the memories, and boy, those are amazing memories.
He was that special spark out there. Certain sparks, when they're gone, you go, how did that blow out? You know?
Because you're only given a little spark of madness. If you lose that, you're nothing.
Robin.
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 Hi, Robin.
Thank you for all you gave us.
Thanks for letting us performers be everything we want to be.
Thanks for being my friend at one of the lowest points in my life, and you were absolutely right about everything.
You gave full affirmation to me that what I was doing was special, and that's carried me through the years. Thank you.
You are incredible, you're amazing, and I will never forget you. You'll always be with me in spirit.
Robin, thank you for opening up this world of comedy to me, because without you, I don't think I would have ever found my place in the world.
Robin just popped out of his own bottle. He popped out of his own spaceship.
He was a hell of a guy. In every way.
quote was right to my ear. He comes to perform with me. It's a silent act, but yet he spins me around and goes to my ear. Too many people. Too many people. It will always stay with me.
We don't want to stop having the Robin Williams experience. We don't.
Smile, my boy. Sunrise.